Dear viewers, little did you know that the following is a non-profit fan-made version of the original radio program, The Shadow. All sound effects have been found on YouTube and voices on castingcall.club. We hope you support the official release. Yours truly, The Secret One.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again we welcome you back to yet another exciting adventure of The Shadow. In this second season, The Shadow will demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The Shadow, who is really Lamont Cranston, has the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. Cranston's friend, Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. This episode, The Bells of St. Peter's. The Bells of St. Peter's is about a missing movie star, a blood-stained room, and a strange department store sales slip. It will begin in just a moment, but first, as the new school year begins for the children and the adults, make sure you have all the proper items and equipment to help you get through those tough classes. And remember, study hard to get good grades. And now, The Shadow and The Bells of St. Peter's. The Italian sun is warm and bright on this Saturday morning in April. The streets of Rome are crowded with laughing children and people rushing about to finish up their shopping in time for tomorrow, Easter Sunday. But in the Villa Mentone, an apartment hotel just off the Piazza Barberini, the housekeeper's mind is not on Easter, but on the many apartments she still has to clean. Teresa sets down her mop and broom, pauses before the door of a suite on the second floor, and mutters to herself.
Maron, these Americano movie stars. These the ones, she make us so much trouble. She said, Teresa, do this. Teresa, give me that. Teresa, clean this. A woman so beautiful and so cold. Like a fish. See, like a fish. Senora Stevens. She's out, making the pictures for the scene. Buono, now I can go in. And clean as I wish. No one to say, Teresa, the stockings, Teresa, the... Mamma mia! What's happened? Senora Stevens! Senora Stevens! Oh, blood! Everywhere blood! The chairs are overturned. The lamps are broken. I am afraid to look. I'm afraid to open this closet door. She may be... No one's here. But the furniture, the blood. Oh, I'm sick. I must call the police at once.
There it is, Lamont, just up ahead. Studio Elena, director's offices. Oh, Lamont, this is going to be such fun.
If you're so anxious to visit a movie studio, Margot, you don't have to wait until we came to Rome. They got them in America too, you know.
I know, but this is different. A movie directed by the one and only Vittorio Scalza, the famous Italian director.
And starring Lydia, the most intriguing of all American stars.
That should be a winning combination, Lamont.
Here we are, Signor Scalza's office. I guess we better knock.
20 years in theater, and Never has such a thing happened to me. Vittorio Scalza.
Lamont, listen.
Yes, someone sounds pretty excited.
Come in. You cannot do this to me. I will not permit it. Never. 100,000. Ah, Signore Cranston. I am so glad to see you.
Buongiorno, Signor Scalza. What seems to be the trouble?
Trouble? Oh, everything is lost. Finished. I am ruined.
Why? What's happened, Mr. Scalza?
My star, Lydia Stevens. She is gone. Disappeared. Vanished.
Lydia Stevens gone?
See, now, one day before the film is finished, with only 2 more scenes to shoot. The most important scenes in the story.
What scenes are they?
A love scene. The greatest love scene in the history of cinema. And a death scene. The most tragic one ever written. Without them, I have nothing. $100,000 lost.
Signor Scalza, why do you say Miss Stevens has disappeared? Perhaps she's ill, or delayed.
No. She is gone. Something terrible has happened to her.
What makes you so sure?
Last night, I have a dinner engagement with her. A reservation. She is to meet me at Donna's. She does not come. I call her apartment. No answer. Today, all day, I call her press. She is not there. Now, I have been calling the police. They are looking for her.
Perhaps she's tired, Mr. Scalza, and went off for a few days' rest.
Rest? You do not know this Stevens woman. She lives only for her work. Nothing stands in her way, the way of her career. No. If she is not here, it is because she is dead, or kidnapped, or out of her mind. I am ruined. I may as well throw myself in the Fiume.
Signor Scalza, perhaps it's not too late. Perhaps we can help.
Help? Can you take her place? Or, Signorina Lane, how can you help?
I don't know yet, but suppose Miss Lane and I start checking on Lydia Stevens' apartment.
Blood! Everywhere blood, you see?
Yes, I see.
And the furniture overturned, Lamont? The lamps and vases smashed? Vittorio Scalza was right. Something terrible has happened to Lydia Stevens.
Teresa, when you came in to clean this apartment before, is this how you found it?
Si, signora, I swear. I touched nothing. I called the policia at once. Ask the Commissario here.
I believe she speaks the truth, Signor Cranston. She called right after Signor Scalza did.
Tell me, Teresa, did you hear anything?
I hear many things. Shouting, fighting, cursing.
From this apartment?
How can one tell? We are right near the Piazza Barberini. There is much noise on the streets, and this is a big hotel. Many people shout.
Did you hear or see anything last night?
Why do you ask her about last night, Signor?
Her bed wasn't slept in, Commissioner.
So?
And Lydia Stevens didn't keep an appointment with her director.
Ah, see, that is so. Then whatever happened to Signora Stevens may have happened last night.
And if that profuse bleeding wasn't stopped in a little while...
Lamont, you don't think she might have bled to death?
It's possible, Margot.
Teresa, tell me, who come to see this woman, this Americana actress?
Nobody.
What?
It's the truth. She has no friends. When she not work, she stay home alone.
Alone? A beautiful woman like that?
I heard about her, Margot. She she is, not very sociable.
Oh, like the famous Greta Garbo.
You're sure, Teresa? You have never seen anyone come here to visit this woman?
Never. Only one man.
A man?
Who was it?
Oh, I do not know his name. He's a big man. Big shoulders, long curly hair. Very handsome. He gives big tips.
I see. A big, handsome man.
Si, he wear a very fine clothes.
Fine clothes? Was he Americano?
Si, he speak English.
You heard him speak?
Si, he have a strange voice, like a whisper.
Ah, and he breathes like this.
Si, Commissario, that's the one.
You know him, Commissioner?
See, and you've heard of him, no doubt. He's the Americano, Tony Fortunato.
Tony Fortunato. Mean anything to you, Lamont?
Of course. He was deported from America several years ago for his criminal activities. Commissioner, do you know where I can find him?
Certo. We have been keeping, the eye of the eagle on him. We do not like narcotic peddlers any more than you do. You'll find him at the Hotel Flamma. It is on the Piazza Adriana.
Lamont, that's right near Castel Sant'Angelo.
Grazie, Commissioner. We'll hurry right over.
I will go with you.
If you don't mind, I'd rather make this visit unofficial. We may get more out of him that way.
As you wish, Signor Cranston. Only remember, be very careful. This Fortunato may be dangerous.
We'll return to the Shadow in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our second season of The Shadow, don't forget to check out our Facebook page for updates on future episodes. And as always, if you have any questions about the program or wish to help voice a character for a future episode, feel free to leave us a message, and we will reply as soon as we can. Now, back to The Shadow. Having found a link between Lydia Stevens, an American movie star who has vanished, and Tony Fortunato, an American racketeer who has been deported, Lamont, Cranston, and Margot Lane decide to call on Fortunato at his hotel in Rome. They're now standing outside the door of his hotel suite.
Gee. Oh,
Mr. Fortunato,
yeah.
my name's Crandall, and this is my friend, Miss Lane.
Yeah, so what?
Well, we're Americans.
So what do you want, a 21-gun salute?
Why, no. We just
You
thought...
thought I'd drop down and kiss your feet because you come from the good old USA? Wow. Nuts to that.
Just a moment, Mr. Fortunato. You got us all wrong. We're no ordinary tourists.
No?
No, I'm a magazine writer. I'd like to do a piece about you. An article that...
Oh, you would?
Oh, very much. You see, back home, most people, especially your enemies, have the idea you're miserable here, that you're living in poverty.
They do? No kidding. They think I'm broke?
You'd be surprised.
I want to write an article telling the truth, showing how well you're doing, how you live, the real lowdown.
Okay. Good idea. Come on in. Tell you everything you want to know. Think I'm poor, do they? Look around. Find a suite in the hotel. All the furnishings mine. What do you think of it?
Why, it's beautiful.
How do you like those paintings? They're all genuine. Some by Picasso in Vegas. Nice, huh?
Oh, fabulous. How about modern paintings?
Ain't these modern? They better be. If I find out anybody's palms off any old-fashioned stuff on me, I'll cool 'em off.
And what a wonderful collection of books. Have you read them all?
Not yet. I'm gonna, though.
What a magazine story this will make. Say, that's a very valuable book up there on the top shelf. That copy of Dante. May I look at it?
Sure. I'll get it for you. This one?
That's it. I'd like to check the publication date.
Here you are.
Thanks. Say, what happened to your wrist?
What?
I noticed the bandage when you reached up. What happened?
You're pretty nosy, aren't you?
That's my profession, asking questions.
Oh, yeah. Well, I broke a shaving mirror last night. Just nicked me. Nothing at all.
Pretty big bandage for a little cut.
Yeah. Well, you see, I'm a bleeder. Something about my blood.
I see. Funny thing.
What is?
Just a while ago, we saw evidence of quite a lot of bleeding.
Yeah? Where?
The apartment of Lydia Stevens. Ever heard of her?
Yeah, the movie star. What were you doing there?
We went there to do a story for a movie magazine, but she was gone, and her apartment was in shambles.
Blood all over the place.
I don't like the way you're talking, pal. What are you getting at?
Did you know Lydia Stevens?
Maybe. What about it?
What kind of dealings did you have with her?
Watch out, buddy. You're stepping out of line.
If you don't tell us, you'll have to tell the police.
You think so?
Yes, they know you've been there to see her. You're the only man in Rome who did visit her.
So what?
Where were you last night?
No, I wasn't. I ain't seen her in weeks. And now, you two, out! I can get along without you and your lousy magazine. Out! Before I throw you out!
Very well. Miss Lane and I will leave. Arrivederci, my friend. We will meet again.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why don't the police grab that Fortunato and stick him in jail?
On what grounds?
Murder! The murder of Lydia Stevens!
No motive, no means, no weapon, no corpse. They don't have much of a case.
Oh, you and your law. I'm surprised the police had sense enough to warn Fortunato not to leave Rome. That man's a killer, I tell you.
Hello, operator? Operator, this is Mr. Cranston again in room 412. How are you doing on that call to the States? That's right. Police Commissioner Weston. See, you have? Alright, I'll try it anyways. There's a little trouble on the line. Weston? This is Cranston. I said this is Cranston. Yes, in Rome. Rome. I can't hear a word you're saying. What's that? You hear me? Good. Weston, I'd like you to cable me some information. I want all the dope you can get a hold of on one Tony Fortunato, deported from the States and...
Oh, brother, these Italian police stations. You can get lost in these halls. I'll bet the Commissario was bowled over when you told him about Weston's cable.
I don't know. All he said was, come right over and bring the cable with you.
I know I was bowled over. We suspected some kind of connection between Fortunato and Lydia Stevens, but this...
Strange, isn't it? Her daughter and Fortunato. Man and wife.
It's unbelievable. Lydia Stevens is so young-looking on screen. She plays ingenues. Who in the world would have believed she had a marriageable daughter?
Oh, I don't know. She could have been in her early 30s and had an 18-year-old daughter. Well, that's not so odd. What bothers me is why her daughter would want to marry a gangster like Fortunato.
Well, he's terribly handsome, Lamont. Dresses beautifully, has loads of money.
Yes, and he was riding high when she married him. He lived in a penthouse on Park Avenue, mixed with the theater crowd. Here we are. According to the sign, this is Commissionario's office.
Ah, Signor Cranston, Signora Lane.
We didn't expect you to be working on Easter Sunday.
What choice have I? This Lydia Stevens must be found?
Here's a cable, Commissionario.
Si, grazie. You've already informed me of its contents.
I guess you never knew Fortunato was married.
On the contrary, Miss Lane, we knew it all the time.
What?
We know he is married, but we do not know his wife is daughter of Signora Stevens.
When he was deported, Commissioner, did she come here to Italy with him?
Un momento, I look in file. Ah, si, she come here with him.
She did? Well, do you know where she is?
Si, I know. She's dead. She died last year. Bad heart, much sickness.
Oh, what a shame.
Yes. Only one thing puzzles me. Why should Lydia Stevens and Fortunato have anything to do with each other if the other link between them is dead?
Scusi, Signor Cranston. I see in my file there's another link. Not dead.
Another link?
Si. In Roma, a child was born of this marriage. A boy. Here is the certificate of birth.
It's no use, Lamont. The police have been over this place with a fine-tooth comb, and we've searched it once before. What can you expect to find?
You never know, Margot. A clue doesn't have to have a sticker on it. Something here may give us a lead.
Well, I don't see what those department store boxes are going to tell you. They're all empty.
Yes, I suppose you're... Margot, look at this sales slip.
What does it say? You know my Italian is weak.
So's mine, but listen. 2 pairs of children's shoes. A boy's jacket, size 3.
Of course. Look at this one. A set of toy trains, 5,000 livres.
Toy trains.
And a cowboy suit, Size 3.
Lydia Stevens was buying things for a little boy. That means she knew where her grandson was, or hoped to find out.
Yes. Yes. You're right. Whoever you are. I...
Lamont, she's fainting.
Mrs. Stevens!
She's going to...
I got her. Mrs. Stevens, are you all right? Margot, some wine, quickly.
No. I'm all right. Just help me get into a chair.
Yes, of course. Steady. That's it.
Here. Drink this.
Thank you. You're Americans?
Yes. Friends of Vittorio Scalza, your director. He's been frantic about your disappearance. Where have you been, Miss Stevens? What happened to you?
It's a long story. Ever since my daughter died, I've tried to get custody of her child, my grandson. He's here in Italy. I wanted to bring him to America, but Tony Fortunato wouldn't let me have him.
He doesn't like you very much, does he?
He's always hated me, just as I've hated him. He ruined my daughter's life. He drove her to her death. Well, that's over with now. When I was asked to come over here to Rome to make this picture, I put all kinds of wires. I managed to get court orders and letters from the State Department and whatnot, in the hope that I could get the authorities here to turn my grandson over to me.
But Mrs. Stevens, American court orders, they wouldn't have any force here in Italy.
Tony didn't know that. When he found out I had those papers, he got frightened. So he sent little Tommy to some relatives in the country and came here to my apartment Friday night.
He lied to us, Lamont. He said he wasn't here.
He was here, all right. He demanded the papers. I refused to give them to him. He got furious. Began searching like a madman, tearing the place apart. I tried to stop him. We fought. Finally, I picked up a vase, tried to hit him on the head, but he warded it off with his arm.
Yes, and cut his wrist.
He bled all over the place. It was awful, but it didn't stop him. In the end, he found the papers and left.
And you didn't go to the police?
I didn't want any publicity, and I had no time. I had to leave at once. I was determined to get my grandson, even if I had to abduct him.
But you didn't even know where to go.
Yes, I did. Tony let it slip as we were struggling. He mentioned his cousin in Oviedo. I hired a car that night and drove there.
And that's why you didn't meet Scalza for dinner.
Yes. I reached Oviedo about 2 o'clock Saturday morning. I couldn't do anything until later, of course. About 9 o'clock Saturday morning, I drove up close to the farmhouse on the outskirts of Oviedo. I waited for Tommy to come out to play. I thought I would lure him to my car with toys and games, things I had bought several days ago in the hope of finding him. I even had a little cowboy suit for him.
And?
Tommy never came out. It was obvious they'd been warned that I might come. The child had been spirited away. I stayed in the village nearby a second night, but I knew I had lost. I would never have another chance.
You want that child very much, don't you?
Yes. My daughter's dead. I did so many things wrong with her. So many. But it's too late now to make it up with her. I no longer have a husband. I have nothing. Nothing but money and things and a career. I have nobody in the world but my grandson. I'd give up everything for him.
Perhaps you won't have to, Mrs. Stevens.
What do you mean?
Well, so far Tony Fortunato has been lucky. The sun has been shining for him.
And now?
A shadow is about to cross his path.
You understand, Giuseppe? Don't let anyone come near the place. Nobody. See. Yeah, I'll pay you. Don't worry. But if you let anyone take my son, you'll be sorry. You understand? Good. Arrivederci. Who's that? Who's laughing?
The shadow, Tony.
Shadow. What shadow? There's nobody here.
You can't see me, Tony, but I'm here.
I followed you in.
No. It's a trick. It's my imagination. I must be going nuts.
Why, Tony? Because your conscience bothers you? Because you're hurting a lovely woman again?
She wants my kid. Mine. Why should I give him up? Why should she take him away?
Because it's better for him, Tony. And you know it.
Better. It's better for him to be with me than in America, where they threw his father out.
Why did they throw his father out? Think back, Tony. Think of the narcotics your henchmen peddled to innocent teenage kids. Think of the kids whose lives you ruined.
Go away! Go away!
That boy of yours. You'll make him suffer for your crimes. Do you want him to grow up like you? A criminal? He needs a mother, Tony. And there is one who wants him.
You're trying to soften me up. To make me give up what's mine. I hate that woman. I've always hated her. Why should I stop now? Why should I give in?
Listen, Tony. You hear that? The bells of St. Peter's. Just a few blocks away. It's Easter Sunday. Listen, Tony. Perhaps you'll find your answer.
Now, a little later, Lamont, Cranston, and Margot Lane are standing before the magnificent St. Peter's Church in Vatican City, watching the throngs of people go up the steps toward the entrance. The air is balmy, the sky a cloudless blue, a perfect Easter Sunday. Margot is speaking.
Isn't it beautiful, Lamont? I can hardly believe I'm really here in Rome on Easter Sunday.
Not exactly Rome, Margot. Vatican City.
Just look at those fountains and those pillars. And listen to those bells. Don't they do something to you?
Yes, and they eventually did something to Tony Fortunato, too.
You mean the way he suddenly gave in?
Yes. For a moment he thought of the future, of the days and years to come. And he realized that in the eyes of his son, he'd always be a gangster. His son might have loved him, but he'd be handicapped for the rest of his life by his father's reputation.
And Tony, like most fathers, decided he wanted better things in his life for his son. He wanted Tommy to grow up to be proud and happy.
Yes, he finally realized that Tommy would have been much better off with Lydia Stevens.
Lydia Stevens. What a woman. Lamont, so cold, so hard-boiled, and yet she was willing to risk her life to get that child.
She was suffering from the fangs of remorse too, Margot. She kept her daughter hidden from sight, neglected her for a career, and finally lost her.
And that's why she wanted Tommy. She couldn't undo the wrong she had done her daughter, but she could make it up to her daughter's son.
In the end, Lydia Stevens learned that money, the things money can buy, and fame means nothing when you have no one to love, no one who loves you. They were both lost in a way, Lydia Stevens and Tony Fortunato, but a little child, on Easter Sunday, showed them the way.
The Shadow program is based on a story copyrighted by Street and Smith Publications. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.